How did the team look after their first full game? How are you feeling? And just a side note, with other organizations starting up their gameplay, and we're seeing some COVID cases, how concerned are you about the safety and security of your players?
I think we're always concerned. And we want them always to ask questions. I think when it goes through to other leagues and that happens, it's a reminder to us that this thing is very much real, and that even though we've pretty much controlled it from the onset here in on campus and in the bubble, it's still possible that things enter into play. So we just want them to be mindful of it. So it serves as a reminder. Definitely, and it keeps everybody on their toes and keeps everybody alert.
And how do you feel practice went today?
We just did some light stuff. We did video. We scripted a little bit on offensively. There was some things we did wrong. Defensively is where we focused a little bit more on how we need to change some things on some schemes and just finding our identity and taking pride in it. And so we defined some things that made it easier for them, I think. So we'll see how it translates tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Feinberg with the Associated Press.
Hey, Coach. How are you?
Hey, Doug.
Two-part question. First off, how is Diamond doing, and do you expect her to be doing more for you in the next game, or is it going to be sort of like let her get back to 100% first?
I mean, we're just it's a process. So she's getting better, and that's it. So we expect for that to grow. At some point, she's going to be herself. We just don't know when that is. But if we can, look at the game and just, accept that it's a process for her. Her teammates are going to help her get better, and we're going to do a good job of trying to put her in a good situation. But we like the fact that she's on the floor for us because everything matters. We won the game by 2 points, but she was a +4 or 6 for us. I think it was a +6. I think they had +4, but she was actually a +6. And so her being a +6, it helped us. We couldn't win that game without the 15 minutes that she played. So at some point she's going to be back to her 30-minute self. We just have to be patient and not try to push an envelope that's not meant to be pushed.
The second half of the question is, I know you've only had one game, but now you've had a game practice and then a game tomorrow. Is this, you think, can be what you're going to do as far as having light practices, knowing that you basically have a game every other day, it seems?
I mean, we're going to have to be creative. So every day is not going to be the same. I think if we would have went through a hard practice today, knowing that we have another game like 2 days after, I think it would have been a little bit tough for them. But the fact that, it was a tough game, it was a physical game last night. I think it was probably smarter for us to actually, like a teaching day. It was a teaching day. So it was, less physical, more mental and more film work and, getting them on the floor and getting them in the spots and just trying to define things on the floor. And so I think it's going to be a lot of that this year for a lot of teams. But for us in particular, that's what was needed today.
Aaron Walling.
Hey, Coach. So how we saw the fourth quarter play out, how much growth did you see from your team in terms of completing that comeback?
So the thing is, it's very, very hard. And I think that's taken for granted a lot. It's very hard to win games in the WNBA. It's so hard to win. So for you to spend 37 minutes and to be basically not yourselves, and whatever that means, but for you to not recognize, okay, this is not what we want to be doing, or this is not how we want to be playing. And at the end of the game, with 3 minutes to go, you're down 11 and you grind it out and win when you think that everything's going against you. It says a lot for the chemistry. It says a lot for the heart of our team. And it gave them confidence. I think you're never out of a game. They have the ball at the free throw line for a technical up 11 with 3 minutes and some change left. And for us to hold them scoreless for the rest of the game, I think it says a lot about our team.
And my other question, Coach, is even though you have a pretty good backcourt, it seems like your front court was also facilitating the ball pretty well. for you, seeing that in practice and now translating into games, how much confidence does that put you in as a coach to see that come together?
A lot of it is chemistry and selflessness. You know, we don't just say, hey, we have a playmaker and that's the only. We want our players to play make. Like, we want them to be threats and we want them to score, but we want them to make the best play. And we want them to make the best play possible. And sometimes that's going to be making another player commit and just moving the ball. And that's something that we practice on a lot. We practice on moving just to add space and you know, lanes for our teammates. And I think they did a pretty good job of that last night.
Thanks, Coach.
Carol raced out from WBZ.
Hi, James.
Hey, Cheryl.
When you have games, you know, coming every other day, how do you prep? How do you scout? How do you get the film? How do you prepare when you have so many coming one after another after another?
So that's a pretty good question, and I think it's something that's not as appreciated outside of anything, because a lot of people are like watching the games, right? So, you know, what we do is, so after the game, we receive the game we just played. We also receive the games that the team that we played the next game played. And so we have coaches that are assigned the scouts for each team. And so they're responsible for all the pre-work of, you know, what we do. We actually meet on it. And we, you know, they have ideas and they watch more of the games beforehand. I will watch them, but not from a scouting eye. I'll just watch and get a sense of it. I'm actually breaking down the game that we just played. And that's the video that we showed today, the game that we just played. So one of our coaches who had Las Vegas before the game is working on the game after this game, so after we play. And our coach that didn't work on the game, he's working on Los Angeles. And so he's going to get us ready for that as far as knowing what sets they run, their player personnel, how they play, what they like to play to, what they like to play and stop and score situations, and what's the best way that they think is the best way to stop them. And so we trust in our coaches, and we have to trust on their insight, and it's on them to deliver the message to the players. And I just, you know, try to support them in that case and try to help us find our identity at the same time.
It makes their job pretty difficult, doesn't it?
I mean, it's difficult for someone who doesn't like it. I actually feed off of it. So for me, it's like food. I mean, I need that competition. I need to figure out that puzzle of how it is to win. Like for me, going to sleep at 3 o'clock in the morning is fun when you're doing something you love. So yeah, I stayed up watching Las Vegas and watching how we can do things better. And then, you know, I get up at 7 and we just do it all over again. So that's just the way it is. And the bubble is even magnified because the games are so compacted. But I mean, I like it. It's fun. And that's, you know, something that a lot of people won't get because they don't have that passion for that, but they'll get it because when they have a passion for another thing, they'll understand, you know, this is why they do it. And so that's there you have it.
Thanks for your time.
I apologize if I'm not pronouncing this right, but Gaetano Gorgon. All right, Gaetano.
Yeah, do you hear me?
Now we can hear you now. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I just want to ask to the coach if he appreciated the move made by Kyrie Irving and his donation to the WNBA players who opted out the season.
So when I read that this morning, yeah, I you know, you have to appreciate somebody like Kyrie and what he's doing for the players, and how he's committed to, you know, helping them. I really appreciate that, and it, you know, it says something about his character. It says something about him, especially someone as highly scrutinized as he is. It's something that he didn't have to do. And I just, want people to understand it takes a lot to invest, just like the owners we have in this league, to invest in these young ladies and find value in them when media is not doing it the same, the women's basketball game, the WNBA is very special. And for Kyrie to do that, you can only commend him and just appreciate him and just understand that it's something that he doesn't have to do, but because he appreciates the women's game so much, it's something that he's doing. And I'm really happy and excited about, his role in helping grow the game too.
Thanks, Coach.
We have just a minute or so left with James. We'll go to Jake Meister.
Hey, Coach, with respect to the conversation around Diamond and just this compacted season, as you said, is load management something that you'll be kind of using throughout this season?
I don't, who made that term up?
I wish I knew.
I don't know what that means. Because I've always load managed. If I didn't load manage, Stu would play 40 minutes. So I just think we just have to be smart with each individual player where they are. Each particular case is different. So I don't know what it means, but I've always kind of managed everything. You probably could have saw Diamond play, 35 minutes last year, but we try to keep them fresh as possible because we know that this is a compacted season. So you can say that I said it, but I don't know. I mean, I guess, but we're going to load manage everyone. So I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, no, you're right. It is just kind of a commonly used term. I don't think anyone really knows where it got started from, though, to be honest.
But I mean, I'll some smart guy probably made it up, or some smart woman probably made it up. But I mean, every coach load manages. Yeah, I think if someone was walking in and was limping or doing something, like they would probably limit them or not play them because it's not what's best for them. If we have 5 games in 8 days, then you probably want to be smart with the players and just put them on a time ceiling where they're actually going to play so many minutes. So
Thank you.
All right, last question, Aaron Walling from KTVF and KXDF.
All right, Coach, real quick before you go, we saw Ruthy make her debut yesterday. What you see from her in her limited action yesterday?
So I think Ruthy is one of those players that she's very intelligent. She does the right things. She does the little things. She appreciates the little things. And I think the thing that's probably having her, not to explode at a point where I think everyone wants her to, is the fact that everything's going so fast. So she has to get to used to the WNBA speed. But we were very happy with her minutes. She's probably one of our better pick and roll players. She has really good hands. She's gonna get to spots on the floor. So I mean, she did what we wanted her to do. And those shots that she missed last night, she's gonna make those. Those we're not worried about. The thing that we're trying to get her to do is rebound out of her space, out of her area, and go get some extra rebounds for us and continue to run the floor. So, and I think the running the floor will probably be better once she understands what she's doing. So we're pleased. She has a lot of room to grow, but we're here for it.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, James. We'll have Cheyenne Parker up here next.
All right, thank you. Continue social distance.
Thanks, Coach.